Something that has been dangling over all of our heads right now at Piggy Intercity is the Insolence. What is the Insolence exactly? To start, you can find it in a secret room under the Metro and Rita. If you got through the tunnel to the right, you'll encounter some Insolence members in an empty room. After you fight them off, walking up to the chair shows an eye on it and a note talking about them. What is this all about? Well, I'll recap on those who haven't played the original Piggy game yet. Tio, who is the Insolence, appears as a non-physical character that only appear in people's minds. Tio uses guilt and shame to get into other people's heads and offers to make them a deal. Tio essentially wants those people to join them in his aid in return for something on their end. However, Tio is tricking them. They can even make hallucination in people's heads too. We've seen this happen before. Once they accept the deal and shake Tio's hand on it, then they become possessed and have an outward appearance change. They often come in burnt skin and always with an orange eye, the same one Tio has. They gain abilities such as teleporting and better coordination. Most of them still hold the same characteristics as normal infected, however. Tio once had a friend too, but then something happened between the relationship and are now separated. Now that we have an idea of who Tio is, what are their purpose? Inside the hidden ending in Book 2 Chapter 12 in the main Piggy game, Tio tells the player that obtaining the cure is a mistake. They mention how friends and family will fight over the cure. They don't want conflict to come upon the land of Avelia, so they try to revolt. But ultimately, we are able to get the cure to Sergeant Monroe, who was a part of the Capitol at the time. We don't know why or how they used these powers, but we can assume they got them from their friend. In the Hunt chapter in Piggy, you can see this drawing, which is supposed to be drawn by Tio. We don't know much about their relationship, other than it eventually ended. Now let's head over to Piggy Intercity. Why is Tio still here? If you recall what I said earlier, Tio does not want family and friends to have conflictions against each other. Though we already have the cure, that isn't stopping the Insolence. They have been gathering an army of possessed people over the years to eventually execute whatever his plans are. The cure is already limited to the capital, as they are keeping it to themselves, and possibly the Valkyrie too, but we don't know that yet. That is why in my video about the capital, I said that the Insolence would be more major to joining the capital, since that is what Tio wants to seize. The capital will have what they want gone. Inside the Rita sewers, you can see some cages that are empty with a note from one of the Insolence members talking about the will of the eye, which is referring to Tio. This is proof that the Insolence are still actively working with the possessed people to keep making deals and building an army. One of the characters in Intercity named Mona talks about her son who went off to adventure. This was Marcus, who was eventually possessed by them too. In the future, we will be seeing what happens as the factions continue to progress, what decisions we make to affect them, and how the Insolence will play in all the chaos. Maybe we'll even be able to encounter him at some point in a future update. To summarize, Tio is the Insolence, who gets in people's heads to make deals, but instead of tricking them to become possessed, or in other words, their control. After failing to stop the cure from being obtained from the original cast in the main Piggy game, Tio has been working behind the scenes by building an army of more possessed Insolence creatures throughout several years to execute whatever plan they have in mind. Whatever that plan is, we will see it in Intercity, and it will be more major depending on what faction we join and what the decisions we make. Who knows what tricks Tio has up their sleeve. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider supporting me, but remember, watch my channel intro before you make that decision. During the time making this, it is not out yet, but will release one day. You will understand why I ask of this when you watch. If you want to join my Discord where I post video notifications and project announcements, join in the description. See you all later.